Hello and welcome back. How long haven't I used that intro? Probably well over 2 years. Anyway, today I'll be showing you my current progress with the new ships, with the new builds for the new ships. I have had a lot of fun building all sorts of non-combat ships for combat, if that makes any sense. But yeah, I've had a blast with all sorts of ships, and it really makes me curious to know and to see how will the developers rework the entire ship tree, because I mean we all know that they have been talking about reducing the number of ships, and they want all ships to be useful. So that kind of includes the Praxis and the Praxis 2, for example. I have the Praxis here. I have kind of finished the build for it, but haven't had a chance to use it. Well, I mean, I say haven't had a chance. I probably did have a chance, but I just used a different ship because honestly, I keep forgetting that I have these things ready for combat. Now, let me just show you one little thing about the Praxis that I don't like. Look at that insurance cost. I have basically sold most of my expensive ships nowadays, and every ship that I have now and fly now is well over like 10 billion. Well over a billion in most cases. I mean, most of my ships are very cheap. And that's basically what I usually fly nowadays. So we will see how the new rework will impact the IP cost. I really hope that it doesn't inflate much, or I really hope it doesn't ruin like the cheap ship fun, you know. That's kind of what I'm worrying about. And the Gnosis IP cost should be about, yeah, yikes, that's a lot. I mean, technically they are classified as special faction ships. One thing that I'm looking forward to is seeing these things more useful. They need to get some skill per level bonuses, for example. And when, I mean, they probably get that when they get reworked. So that's a thing to look forward to. Now, one thing that I don't really see changed because they're prototypes are the prototype young ships. Now, I'll just go and set my autopilot to get the prototypes in the station here because I want to fly them as well, and I'll be fitting those prototypes for PvP the way I did do the same thing with the Gnosis and the Praxis, because why not? I feel like these ships will be fun to see them in actual combat. So that's basically my little concern about the IP cost, because if they do rework, and they will rework them, and I can see them reworking the Praxis and Gnosis as well, since they're both, they also have like different variations. Only the Gnosis is like a single Gnosis. There's no Gnosis 2, for example, but the Praxis definitely has a second variant of it. So the Praxis might become a lot more useful down the road, which is a very, very welcoming thing. One thing though that I keep mentioning is the IP cost. The IP cost definitely needs to go down. It's ridiculous, and that's one thing that I think we all can agree that the IP cost on most of the newer ships is kind of through the roof, and it's basically what's
Warp
not,
drive active.
I guess, quite attractive to players. Not most players don't want to fly like expensive ships. Anyway, before I completely fall asleep here, because I almost did there, I'm recording this at 3 a.m. Let's go to the first two targets. Actually, we have a Cyclone and we have a Prophecy. Now, I'll go after the Prophecy first because drones are scary, and drone boats are primary targets nowadays because of the bombard. So I'll just focus on the Prophecy first.
We're under attack.
One point was supposed to be for the... Actually, I did split points. Okay, now both of the ships can't warp off. That's good. Okay, Prophecy destroyed. Let's go after The Cyclone.
We're under attack.
I have run out of barrage and I am on cooldown. Not a big deal though. Still have more than enough DPS with the battle mode, basically battle mode 3 DPS. And that Cyclone seems to be using long range missiles, the normal medium missiles. Not a big deal. My shield can easily hold. I'll just use the extender. Just in case I take like a 5000 hit or something. Because you never know nowadays with implants and stuff. Okay, the Cyclone is also destroyed. Let's take a look at what we have in the loot. Now let me shoot down the pods. That's one pod down, and let's take the next one out. Well, okay, surprisingly not that expensive. And let's take a look at the second wreck here. That was actually fun. I didn't want to use the Praxis or Gnosis in this case, but
Warp drive
I
active.
was worried that they would warp off before I could lock them on. And that's the thing that's a bummer, I guess. I really want to use the Praxis for this. Would be funny. But I was worried that they would warp off. Because when I was scouting, it did look like they were aligned. So I needed something fast to get the job done. And the cells is just a perfect ship for it. I mean, if you want something destroyed in seconds, yeah, just take out the cells. Or if you are worried that the target has a lot of stabs, well, again, use the cells. Because this ship is silly. No, we have an example of a very cursed prophecy. Please don't fit shield tank prophecies. It's not good. That's not a good prophecy build. A Cyclone is a shield tank, so the Cyclone can pass, but the prophecy is not a shield tank. The prophecy is a armor tank. Let's go to the next target. We have a juicy Balgorn on the menu. And we have two juicy Macarials that are hungry. Well, I mean, time to feed the angel battleships. I still love how the Death Wish Nanocore looks. I don't have a Death Wish Nanocore for the Macarial. I have a lot of ISK though. And maybe I do decide to spend that ISK for a Death Wish Nanocore, maybe not. Depends. I also want to upgrade some of my implants. But until I do get a Death Wish Nanocore for a normal ship, when I say normal ship, I have one for the Barghest, but I'm definitely not going to fly the Space Pen anytime soon because, I mean, the Space Pen just makes me feel very uncomfortable. I don't know why. It's maybe because it's too expensive, but the Macarial just gets the job done much better, honestly. The Macarial Rattlesnake, I mean, there are ships that get the job done much better than the Barghest, and of course, the reason why we love Macarials is their speed. They're fast. It's basically like flying a cruiser with battleship level DPS. What is there not to like about that, right? So we use Macarials just because it has a lot of DPS, it has a lot of speed, and it's just a very nice ship in general. And well, there is our target, a Balgorn. I always love to shoot a Balgorn, especially with a Macarial. And it's so satisfying to just drop a Macarial gang on a Balgorn. It just goes through that armor like a hot knife through butter, and ouch. Yeah, that's a lot of DPS, and the Balgorn has been destroyed. Well, that was fast. And that's why we like to use the Macarial, because these ships just have a lot of DPS and they're fast. Now I have been thinking about increasing the speed of Macarial, And honestly, I can do that. Maybe I should. I mean, I have like a lot of things on my to-do list. One of these things is to basically uh, have a faster, not a faster Macarial, but having a fast Macarial, faster Macarial than what I have right now here, because I need a second Macarial to get the job done. This is the old Macarial that I've had for years now, but I definitely need a faster Macarial with more points, preferably. Need to start involve my alt as well. My alt needs to get an Astra for scanning and stuff. And speaking of scanning and stuff, yeah, this is a Noctis. I actually attempted to fight some ships with the Noctis, but unfortunately everything just warps off. Maybe I do have to change the build. I don't like how slow this thing is, and of course, you are required to have expert industrial skills, which I am actually skilling into right now. Or if I'm not skilling right now, I will log in and basically put those skills on the list, because it is kind of funny that I'm actually closing 1000 DPS on this thing with only 2 Orth cannons, and there is a Caracal somewhere, a Caracal modified, and again, primarily I'm using these things for less serious targets, obviously, since I think it's very funny to actually see a Noctis in PvP, but I haven't had a lot of, I guess, luck with it lately, mostly because most ships run when they see it, even though it's a industrial ship. I guess the icon might be different. Actually, I think the icon for the Noctis should be a cruiser icon. Been a while since I actually seen one myself, but yeah, there is a Caracal running anomalies. I'm just trying to find it, warping from belt to belt the old school way. I really miss the days without a scanner where I was going from anomaly to anomaly and just hoping to find something. Those were I think the fun days, and kind of makes me sad that, I mean, maybe if they change the scanners to be more
warp drive active,
difficult to scan, maybe the old days come back. I don't know, but we will see. Now the big thing that we're all waiting for is basically seeing that big rework on the whole tech tree and all the ships being changed. That's the next big thing, and of course Tech 3 cruisers and destroyers. That's again the next thing that
warp drive active
should happen. And one good thing, I have a lot of east now. I sold a lot of things, and actually before I go to bed today, after I put all the videos to, I actually made like 4 videos tonight, so I'm completely tired, but when I do that, I will put some more items on the market in Nita, just so I have like 50 or 60 billion ISK at the end of the day, and I think I should be ready for all the new ships and stuff in the very near future. So I'm basically like preparing for everything new that's coming up, and for implants and stuff like that. I just want to actually enjoy the game. And honestly, I've been enjoying the game a lot recently. Ever since I stopped flying like the ridiculous expensive ships, I started to have a lot more fun. Cheap ship is the way to go if you feel burned out from something, or from... Oh look, there's the Caracal. Lovely. Let's see if I can manage to... Oh, of course it warps off, and yeah, this is just very bad timing, because they warp faster than I do, unfortunately, and they saw me, and I think they will warp. I mean, I hope they stay, though. I really hope that they stay, but I think they will just click station and dock the moment I land. I think I'll just see them warp off. And what was I talking about just a second ago? Oh yeah, burnout. If you ever feel burned out from the game, try something new, try something cheap, and try something silly. It solved the burnout problem for me, because now the game feels completely new and I'm having a blast.
We're
And of
under
course, the
attack.
character warps off. I'm very dissatisfied with my own bad luck here. If I landed just
Warp
a
drive active.
second, or well, just couple seconds faster, I would have caught the caracal. But you know, I'll definitely. I'm fairly sure I'll get some targets to shoot at with the Noctis. I really want to like do something stupid and silly like that, and
Undocking.
I will. That's a promise. I'll definitely get kills with the Noctis. I just have to get lucky, I guess. No, next target. We actually have a Astro. How do I know that it was an Astro? They actually cloaked before I could scan them down, but
Warp
I
drive
scanned
active.
down sites, and the signature was coming from one of the sites, which I'm actually going to at the moment. Now, how do you know that you have an Astro on the scanner? Well, an Astro usually pass a destroyer signature. It has two signals, but it is like it has the frigate curved line, like the more difficult line, right? But it doesn't have three signatures to match. It only has two signals to basically to find. The other exploration frigates
Warp drive
are
active.
three signals, three signatures. So that's basically how you know that you have an Astro. And of course, the other way how you can know if it's an Astro, if you scan it and if it disappears, and if you land on the site and there's nothing there, but the scan is good, that's an Astro for sure. The other exploration frigates have a free signature signal. The stars have two signals, but they usually don't have a clocking device. So that's a interesting little information that I shared with you, so you know what ships you can expect. Of course, in most cases, players will be flying an Astro because an Astro can be used as an alpha clone. And honestly, an Astro is currently still probably the best frigate for exploration. I haven't. I need to check out the other exploration frigates as well, just to see how they would work. And I would love to compare them with the Astro, but I would say the Astro is probably the best option. You can fly it as an alpha clone. It has a bonus on scanners. I mean, the fact that you can fly it as an alpha clone, I think that alone is like the number one thing about the ship. And of course has a bonus on the analyzers and scanners, which the other ships do have as well, but they are tier 10, tech 10, locked. You need to have Omega and to be tech level 10 to fly them. So an Astro is basically the go-to option.
Warp
But of
drive
course the other
active.
frigates do have some advantages over the Astro, and I'll cover them when I do the video. Now we have next target. We have a Vexor 2, a assault cruiser. You know, makes me wonder what will happen to the assault cruisers once they merge the ships. What will happen to those? Are they going to stay, or are they going to be changed, or are they going to be renamed? Again, so many options, so many variables, and
drive active.
I'm hungry for information. I really want to know. Now, and this Vector 2, it is kind of interesting. One of the more interesting vectors, that's what I'm trying to say. Again, if I sound weird today, my apologies. This is the fourth video that I'm making tonight, and it's 3 AM. I'm sleepy, very sleepy, so yeah. My apologies for that. But I just don't have enough time during the day to finish, so I finish the recordings and stuff at night. vampire mode engaged basically. And the Vexor 2 has been destroyed. That was actually a very good kill. And the Vexor, I'm not gonna spoil anything. Just you will see what I'm talking about when I open up the kill mail. I think most of you will notice it immediately. And it's not necessarily a bad fit. It's just a single module that is kind of
Warp
a
drive active.
exclusive, well, I would say not exactly exclusive, but kind of a rare module that we got there from the Vexor. Now let me just warp and align myself so I can show you the kill there. Well, I mean, I like the kill. And they did seem like 2.4 billion ISK. Do you see that codebreaker dampener? Yay, that's a good one. Hehe. That's an expensive little module there. Well, will be expensive as time goes on. That module will be expensive. And they did have a sleeper core, which is actually really nice. Haven't seen a sleeper core in a while. I actually have a sleeper core for my stabber, for the stabber 2, which is my version of the vagabond that I have in this game. That thing worked really well. I love that. That ship is amazing. If there's a ship that I love flying, it's the stabber 2. It's just so unfortunate that I can't really use it much because of stabs and stuff. But the stabber 2, the way I build it and I assemble it, works flawless. Now, I'm going to share a little fail here. Fail when I forget to basically change my belt on the ship. Wanted to go with a damage control and with a extender. I completely forgot that. I thought I had that. So yeah. And I completely messed up the build on the Orth. But I will give you a little example of the things that you can do
Warp drive active.
with a criminal timer. Since a lot of players have asked me about, tricks, I'll share some. I think these tricks can actually be quite useful. All part of the game's mechanics, so don't have to worry about losing, being banned on something. That's not gonna happen. And this is a kite hurricane. Kite hurricane has tracking. Not a small. This is how not to engage a kite ship 101. What I'm doing here is a huge failure. From the build to the ship to everything that I've done here. But in any case, it's a good example of what not to do. And of course, why I actually like to use the cells over the Orthus against cannon ships, or should I say against the vast majority of ships, because the cells just gets the job done much better than the Orths. But yeah, shield gone and I'm out as well. Now, we already seen my ship dock with criminal timer multiple times in multiple occasions, and honestly, docking with timer is a thing that if you are hunting in Lost, you should get used to, because if you are flying, let's say, a expensive ship, you want to make sure that you can actually kind of be safe. Things happen, you can mess up, and you can also be hunted. In order to maximize the survivability of your ship, and of course not to give out a big kill mail, it is important to know some tips and tricks that you can do. One of those tips and tricks is to dock with your timer. Now, the weapon timer needs to go. You have to wait the initial aggression timer before you can actually safely dock. When you do dock, just click dock, first align the ship and then click dock, and then, don't touch the screen. Don't do anything while the ship is flying, because if you double tap, if you do anything that can cancel the warp, the gate guns will kill you. This is still a very risky maneuver, but from my experience, it is better to risk this way than to get yeeted in a,
Docking request
than to
accepted.
get yeeted by a whole fleet, for example. Idea here is to actually go back and use the cells. Now, when you prepare to undock with timer, and you can, by the way, undock with timer, you have the undock protection, and the undock protection
Undocking.
will be active until you warp and until you click a module. So, when you do undock, do not touch anymore, do not touch anything on the module list. You can
Docking
dock though,
request
if you mess up
accepted.
the ship, you can dock. You can undock and dock with timer. The station protection will keep you safe. So you don't have to worry about that. You can dock quite easily. But do not touch any module until your ship is warping off. Don't cloak, don't do anything. The first thing that you should do when you undock with timer is warp off. That's the first thing that you need to do. Don't touch the modules
Undocking.
because gate guns will kill you. And this is basically, giving you an example of don't have to like treat the criminal timer as a
Warp drive active.
100% no undock procedure or 100% stay cloaked or docked until it's gone. No, you can actually change ships and you can warp around and dock with criminal time. You can also, with some specific builds and with some specific ships, you can actually warp through low sec with a criminal timer, but for that you need a specific build that's focused on warping. In this case,
Undocking.
in this case I'm not gonna do that with this ship because it's too slow for that, but you do have builds. And ships, it's an old trick really, where you can warp with criminal timer through low sec. I don't usually do that because I don't have such ship, but
Warp drive active.
I tend to dock with timer, undock with timer, and do stuff like that around the system. It works, and I don't really mess up with that. Haven't messed up yet. That's why I practiced with cheap ships, so I don't mess up, but it works. And I got pretty comfortable with it. I can even dock a dreadnought the same way. It is funny though when you dock a dreadnought in the same way. Because they're slow, they're so slow. Anyway, next target we have a caracal, and well, I used my own caracal. I mean, not caracal, I used my Vexor trainer. This Vexor trainer, while it's just a trainer, does have a history. It's actually was given to me by a player that left the game a long time ago, and this ship kind of just stuck with me.
Warp drive
I talked
active.
about that last time. Well, not last time, but I talked about that a while ago. I have a lot of ships that are not technically my ships, but were given to me. And I still keep them. Those ships kind of, when you look back at things, that's why I keep them. Let's say memory. That's why the Macarial is still alive,
Warp
although the
drive
Macarial is
active.
having... it's funny, if you go back like in 2020, when I actually started to fly the Macarial, I never really imagined that I would use it for PvP. That was my PvE ship. That was my PvE ship. My OG faction battleship. So yeah,
Docking request
players who
accepted.
built the ship, if you guys are watching, your ship is still alive, by the way. I still have the Makai that you built for me, and I really respect that ship because I never forget. I never do forget. Now, speaking of the devil, or the angel in this case, oh my god. Pun was not intended. In a case, we have a rattlesnake. I've been encountering
Undocking.
a lot of, makes me kinda want to get a Black Ops, right? And just park the Black Ops and wait for them to warp back. I really need to like start flying a Black Ops battleship, but I'm not a fan of I'm personally not a fan of how expensive the Black Ops ships are. I think the thing that's preventing me from flying them is their insurance
Warp
cost.
drive
It's
active.
way too much, but maybe I do need to kind of get one and use one. I think it could potentially be very, very fun. And that's a insta warping rattlesnake. Well, I wish I was faster. Oh well, you win some, you lose some, it's all good. In any case, that was a fun little run
We're
today.
under attack.
Hope you guys enjoyed the... Well, I mean, I'm still working on actually getting some action with the new ships, and that's basically my goal now. I want to have fun with those new not cursed, but I want to fly the new ships that I bought, because I really want to do something funny as that. But with that being said, hope you guys enjoyed. If you would like to support me, feel free to like and subscribe. And with that being said, stay safe, play safe, as always. I'll see you next time.